Hello, Williams class. For your English lesson today, the learning objective is, can I box up the ideas that I've collected about Mrs. Bowen and use them in my innovation? Very, very interesting. So let's go through the information that we collected in the previous lesson. I have created a spider diagram that we can look at. So here is all of the information that we have, and I'm going to read it to you. And this is all about Mrs. Bowen. Mrs. Bowen's first interest. When she went to secondary school, that's high school, she got very interested in computing. Her parents always told her to be the best that she can be. Her father was into computers and she decided to be like him. She went to university and she got a degree in business computer systems. She worked in an office, but she didn't really like it. She wanted to make a difference and to help people. In her early life, she grew up in Langley. She went to Holy Family in Langley and then St. Joseph's in Wexham. She had a very strict head teacher who always wanted them to do their very best. Becoming a teacher. Mrs. Bowen went back and trained to be a teacher. She studied to be a teacher. She thought that if she didn't like teaching, she could have a backup plan and write computer programs for children. Sometimes work was very hard, and her mum helped her quite a bit with that and helped her to build her resilience and be more committed to work. A teacher who inspired her. Mr. Brown was a teacher that she had that helped her with trigonometry, that's a maths topic, and helped her pass her work in college, and they both helped her to be a good, caring person. She had lots of teachers through college that helped and supported her, including her old head teacher, Mrs. Coffey. Things that Mrs. Bowen does for fun. She likes to watch TV with her family, relaxing in her living room, going out for dinner with her friends and eating, and she can roller skate. Special skills. She is capable of talking a lot and helping other teachers, and she is confident to talk about her skills with others. Now, being a head teacher. If you are a teacher, you can become a head teacher. It's always about having dreams and moving forward. Mrs. Bowen started as a teacher in year 4. Mrs. Coffey helped, and she went to year 2 and headed up Key Stage 1, and then she led year 5 and year 6 in Key Stage 2. She did lots of extra courses that supported children and how best they learned. She has over 20 years of experience. She saw an advert for a brand new school and she bravely applied. Mrs. Bowen's favourite thing about being the head teacher of TLAP, the school family and the supportive environment, starting the school up from the bottom up, getting to know all the children as they have started, and she knows everyone really, really well. She has built a community, and the best community, and one to be proud of in Slough. The qualities of a good leader. Now, Mrs. Bowen says, in order to be a good leader, you have to have ideas. You have to be a good listener to many different people. You have to make decisions about what's best for the school. You have to be good at making plans. You have to make things exciting. Be a kind person to accept when you have made good choices and bad choices. And you must be humble. Now we're going to use that information to box up some ideas. So our box up looks like this, and we're going to be using that information to box up and plan for our non-chronological report. So here you have, let me see if I can extend, there we go. So our box up looks like this. It has our introduction, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 3 again, and lastly, conclusion with some vocabulary words. Now, if I was to start off first with our introduction, what sorts of information could I include in my introduction? Let's see. I would maybe put something that first happened in her life, so maybe the early life section. So what I'm going to do is write the sections in the box up, and then for your task you are going to be writing your box up in a little bit more detail. So as I said, early life I'm going to write in my introduction section just here. life. Is there anything else that we want to include in our introduction? For now, I think maybe I could do her first interest as well. Her first interest. There we go. Now let's move on to paragraph 1. So this is the start. We've talked in her introduction about what her life was like in the beginning and then what she first was interested in. Now let's talk about the first section. What would your first section be about? I would say that my first section would be about becoming a teacher. So what I'm going to write here is becoming a teacher. So remember, I'm just writing the different subheadings that I would have. Now, I would write it in this section, but because we also have our box up from previously, I don't want to confuse anyone by writing becoming a teacher here because it won't be related to the middle column. So I'm just going to write it in that section. So if my first paragraph was about becoming a teacher, what could my next paragraph be about? I would say my next paragraph could be about being a head teacher because that was her next step, wasn't it? From being a teacher, she then became a head teacher. Becoming a head teacher. Lovely. And then I have a couple more sections left. So let's just go through what I've already put in my box up. I've mentioned early life. I've mentioned her first interest, becoming a teacher, and becoming a head teacher. So although a non-chronological report doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be in order, what's helping me to structure and organize my ideas is just looking at Mrs. Bowen's life from the beginning, but that doesn't mean you have to read that section first when you read the non-chronological report. It's just a nice way of making sure that you've covered everything. So I think the next thing I'm going to mention, then becoming a head teacher, maybe in that same section, actually, I would put her favorite things about being a head teacher. So I'm going to say favorite things just to fit it into this box. There we go. And then my next paragraph, I think I will mention, if I just tick that so I know that I've gone through that, I would put the qualities of a good leader because a head teacher is a leader and Mrs. Bowen is the best leader. So that would be a nice little, it's still connected to what we just talked about, but it's still a different section. So I'm going to put qualities of a good leader here for our next paragraph. Qualities of a good leader. Fantastic. And then we have 2 more sections or 3 to fit to write in. So I'm going to just tick the fact that we've done that one. I still have things to do for fun and special skills, which I might just put in the final paragraph. What special skills and what was the other section? It was things to do for fun. So I'm just going to write hobbies and special skills because often what you do for fun could be classed as a hobby. Hobbies and special skills, like that. And then we have covered things to do for fun and special skills. And now the conclusion, I think, could be somebody who inspired her, because you can say that's how everything started. It was by someone inspiring her. So I'm going to write that in this section. Teacher who inspired her. And do you know, if I was wanting to challenge myself and push myself a little bit more, I would come up with different subheadings to the ones that I've written, just to show that you are able to create interesting titles and subheadings. So even though I've written teacher who inspired her, maybe you could change that into a question for your subheading. So that is teacher who inspired her. That could be my conclusion. So tick it off. So you'll find that we've included every single bit of information. In terms of vocabulary words, any vocabulary words that I'm a fan of, let me see. I would put I really like the saying, best that you can be. So I'm going to write that here. Best that you can be, because it's very inspirational, and it is one of our sayings here at the Langley Academy Primary as well. So it's something nice to remember that I thought I would write down. Another word that I really like, or a vocabulary word, would be, let me see. I would maybe put something from the subheadings. So, for example, interests, inspiration, like the teacher who inspired her. Words that would make me understand what I need to write about. I would put that into the vocabulary words. So there you go. That's my modeling for you of how we do a box up, looking at the information and then deciding where you put that information. Now, time for the 3 tasks. So task number 1 is to box up the information collected about Mrs. Bowen. So I have put where I think my subheadings would go in the box up, but you can choose to do it in a different way, where instead of writing the subheadings, you could write information, you could write features. So where can you see a rhetorical question? Where can you see short, snappy sentences? Where can you see lots and lots of description? You could choose to box it up that way. And then once you finish task number 1, task number 2 is to draw a picture of Mrs. Bowen that can be included in your non-chronological report. And then task number 3 is to create a checklist that can be used when you are writing your non-chronological report. Enjoy William's class. I look forward to seeing your box ups with some pictures of Mrs. Bowen. I'll see you very soon.